Alright, so we're given this function y of x is equal to 2x over x squared plus 3x plus 2, and we want to know the vertical asymptotes of this. So like we've said in the lessons, the vertical asymptotes are generally going to be where the denominator is equal to 0. So we want to find where that is. So we set it equal to 0, and because, oops, sorry about that. Because this is x squared, we're going to need to split this up, and thankfully with this we can. So this is equal to x plus 2 times x plus 1, and if you multiply this out, you get x squared plus 3x plus 2. And now we know that to get 0, our x has to be negative 2 or negative 1. Alright, so first we're going to figure out this limit for x equals negative 2. Now if we do this right, the limit should be equal to infinity if this is really a vertical asymptote. So the limit as x approaches negative 2, and we'll choose the right hand limit, we could choose right or left, of this function y of x. Okay, so we're going to choose something a little bit greater than negative 2, for example, negative 1.999. And if we plug this in here, we're going to get negative 0.999, so something like negative 1. And over here, we're going to get something very, very small, so like 0.001. And ideally, it's going to be actually a lot more zeros than that we want, as it's approaching negative 2 from the right, so something really close to negative 2, but a little bit greater. And then over here, it would be, like negative 4, but that doesn't really matter, because this is going to be so small that's going to be, this is going to go towards infinity. These negatives will cancel out, and we're left with some number over some really small number, which is going to give us infinity. So we know that negative 2 is definitely a vertical asymptote, and because vertical asymptotes are, vertical, their equation is in the form x equals some number. So x equals negative 2 is our first vertical asymptote. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing here. Limit just like last time, but we're going to use from the left, and really you can do left or right. It'll just make, in this problem, it'll make a difference between it being positive infinity and negative infinity. So I'm just choosing to do from the left, and so this is going to be something like negative 1.00001, something like that, is what you're going to use to approximate this left-hand limit. So over here we're going to have something like negative 2 on the top, although it doesn't really matter. Like we've said, over here it's going to be 1 times something like negative 0.0001, something very small. These cancel, the negative signs cancel out, so it's going to be positive, and some number over something really infinitesimally small is going to be, once again, infinity. So we know that our vertical asymptotes are x equals negative 2 and x equals negative 1.